Okay, so one of the great stories in the past year is how Opelika Utilities in Alabama updated their water meter infrastructure using Cityworks. Joining us next is Dan Hillier with Opelika Utilities and Jessica Stack with Power Engineers, a longtime Cityworks partner. Dan and Jessica will share with us how they accomplished this meter infrastructure, which includes AMI, a new CIS platform, and Cityworks AMS integration. I will go ahead and turn it over to you, Dan and Jess.
Thank you. All right, great to be able to speak with everyone today. I'll go ahead and advance the slide. There it goes. Okay, so as Cindy said, we're going to be talking about Opelika Utilities project to update their meter infrastructure. And let me go ahead and get, okay. So Opelika initiated the project to update their meters to AMI, which is Advanced Meter Infrastructure, and incorporate smart meters into their network. And Dan is going to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly around that project, any lessons learned, and just strategies in general. You know, any recommendations that he would have for someone maybe trying to go down the same path as well. All right, and just real quick, and I am a project manager and technical lead with Power Engineers, as Cindy said. And you know, anytime I can show off pictures of my adorable kids, I will take the opportunity. So when we're not here, we're out, you know, playing with kids and going to the beach and stuff. So I will go ahead and hand it over to Dan, and he'll take it away from here.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're on. It's good. It's still morning where I am. I'm Dan Hillier. I'm the general manager for Opelika Utilities. I've been in this position for almost 30 years now, so I've been here a long time. And as Jessica mentioned, I do like to show off my kids. You notice there's not a two-legged kid in here because I don't want to show him off. Who knows what he's doing today? But you see my two dogs and two of the three cats that my wife and I have. So I am a registered professional engineer, lifelong resident of Opelika. So I've been around here a long time.
I did hit the button. Let me.
Come on, Jessica.
I know, man. Good help, right?
Give you a brief background on Opelika Utilities. We're a relatively small water utility in Opelika, Alabama. If any of you are familiar with Auburn University, hope you didn't watch the ball game this weekend. We are the sister city to the city of Auburn, where Auburn University lies. So we're in East Central Alabama. We have about 13,000 customers with 15,000 service connections. We have about 280 miles of pipe. That pipe ranges anywhere from 36 inches diameter down to 2 inches in diameter. We have 2 surface water treatment facilities. The original plant was built in the early 1940s. That plant was replaced in 2013. You see pictures of it here. It is now a membrane plant. Sits on an 11-acre campus. The water supply here is about 415 acres. We also have a 16 MGD plant that's on another reservoir about 25 miles out of town that we also use. So we have ample water supply, but all of our water is surface water. Jessica. Mentioned earlier the AMI project. Our AMI project is a little different than most that you'll see, in that my goal in this was to get out of the metering business. I've over my career, I've tried to leverage the private industry where they could help us and do a better job than we can. And so when we started looking at this project, we were looking at the meters we'd had over the years, give you a little brief history. We've gone from, in my career, from reading meters manually to a drive-by system to a hybrid system where we had drive-by and fixed network. And we continually had problems with electronic devices in a underground wet location because all of our meters are in the ground here in Alabama. We don't have meters in basements like a lot of utilities do. And the manufacturers would tell you that these meters, are designed to hold up in that environment, and that's just simply not true. They hold up for a while, but eventually you start having problems with them. And I reached out to the manufacturer and said, look, if y'all think your product is so good, let's put your money where your mouth is. You install them, you maintain them, you read them. And they stepped up to the plate. So we put out a project. We did not specify the meter. We specified meter functionality. That project included not only the replacement of meters throughout the system, but also all the residential style meter boxes were included in that. It also included a new CIS system that Jessica mentioned. And it also included the reading of the meters, providing us every day with hourly reads from the meters. It also included maintenance of the meters for a period of 15 years. So essentially in this project, we're buying data. Although we own the meters and the boxes, we still own the asset itself. But the way our contract is set up, we're simply buying data. That's our only responsibility. The contractor is responsible for everything else. Right now, we're in the midst of still installing boxes. Part of the contract was that they had to get the CIS software up and running before they could start installing meters, and that has not been completed yet. That's supposed to be completed sometime around the end of November, and they'll start installing meters. The boxes, they're 90% done with installing boxes, so that'll be done by the time they start installing meters. What are some of the milestones? In my eyes, everything we do now, and you've seen it in the other presentations, really, it's about data. We all want data. We all want data to make better decisions. We want data to tell us stories, and getting hourly readings from every meter that we have can tell us a lot of stories, can provide a lot of guidance on how to operate our system and make our system better and provide a better service to our customers. From a customer standpoint, the meters will provide them access to their consumption on a daily basis. They'll be able to see their hourly consumption. So they'll also be able to set alerts. So if they're going to be out of town and nobody's supposed to be using water, they can set an alert either on our app, our mobile app, or on the website and say, if any water goes through my meter or more than 10 gallons goes through my meter or whatever, it can send them an alert to let them know that that's happening. And they can call their neighbor or call us and say, hey, can y'all go check if my meter's running, turn it off. And so we can help them out that way. But our goal here is to put the customer's water usage and the control of that back in their hands, and give them almost real-time feedback into their consumption. And so the customer's getting additional data, we're getting additional data. How do we deal with that? Part of this project, separate, not on the same contract, but running parallel with this, is we're setting up a data warehouse where we're taking all the data from our various data silos or databases, as you may, finance, CIS, Cityworks, GIS, SCADA, you name it. If we've got a database, it's going into a central data warehouse so that we can create dashboards for our managers and our staff to better do their job, and dashboards for our board members so that they can make faster and more sound decisions for our water system. And part of that is Cityworks. Cityworks is very integral to all this. Our contractor, they're using Cityworks as their work order system to install the boxes and the meters. They'll be using Cityworks when it gets to the maintenance side of the contract, so that we can all keep up with the maintenance that they're doing on the meters. They can create work orders. We can create work orders. We may even get to a point where customers can create work orders. We're not there yet, but that's a possibility. But Cityworks is very integral to this. Jessica will talk about that here in a minute. But it's, you know, as I said earlier, it's all about the data. You know, that's as simple as I can put it. What are some of the lessons we've learned so far? Hire better contractors, hire better subcontractors. I think Jessica's felt some of that pain herself. That's the biggest one that we would. I don't know that we could do a whole lot about it, but we might put, you know, some more requirements in the contract about subcontractors. We've had an issue with some of the subcontractors installing boxes, not doing good work. We've had some doing great work. We had some doing shoddy work, and it's just it's a pain to try to follow up and keep up with all that and make sure they go back out and fix the issues that they have. Jessica?
Sure. Is that good? Anything else you want to add? No rush?
Not right now. I might later.
All set? Okay. Excellent. Appreciate it. So now I'll talk about the Cityworks Roadmap. And for those maybe new to Cityworks, the first relatively simple step that you can do to get the most bang for your buck is tying an asset to a work activity, whether that's a work order or an inspection. I would say, you know, Opelika, that's something we're going to be doing in the short term. And that was purely because we were kind of like taking one step at a time. When they initially implemented years ago, we didn't use the map. They were going right from paper to tablets and field operations and things, and something like that can be quite a paradigm shift. So we took things, you know, one step at a time. And like Dan said, you know, they're in the need for greater information from the field and better data and you know, better KPI and things like that. So what we're going to do in the short term is really start focusing on getting the field staff to attach assets to work orders and inspections. And that would be your water meters, service lines, mains, this kind of thing, fire hydrants. And like I said, that's a really big step to getting the most bang for your buck, because then you can say, I did this work activity on this asset on this day, you know, this often, you know, at this frequency, whatever the time frame ends up being. And then from there, what you can really get out of the system and extract from Cityworks, just dominoes. So that's really, you know, kind of step one there. And getting the field crews to use the map, keeping things simple, you know, as far as that goes, is really the ideal way to go about things, and trying to limit the number of features that you actually are displaying in your map. That can be very helpful too. So we'll move forward with those strategies, and then of course flex depending upon, you know, the feedback we get from the field. In the shortish to immediate term, we'll be working with maybe piloting Cityworks Mobile 10, as well as potentially Respond, to see if the field crews might prefer that as opposed to what they're using now. Cityworks tablet mode is what they're using now, and they've been using it from the start. As far as I know, there haven't been any issues with that, and, you know, not that I want to change something up necessarily that's not broken, but something a little more modern may be useful. It's the kind of thing where, like, you know, you may not really know what you need when you don't know what's available. So those might be options that some of them would benefit from. And the ability to trim down the Respond interface, and then obviously the Cityworks mobile interface already being, you know, very simplified, is a big marketing point for them. Additionally, in the intermediate, we're going to be doing the CIS and fixed asset integration. The CIS integration is going to be against the Univeris CIS system, and most, if not all, of the work activities, service requests, work orders will be initiated in that system. and they will automatically create the corresponding Cityworks activities. In some of those cases, a Univeris service order could go right to generating a Cityworks work order. It doesn't necessarily have to hit that service request step first. So we're going to be including that, and then information that will go back to Univeris might include things like comments, status updates, information collected in the field, like meter readings, any kind of update to the account information along those lines, essentially. And then on the fixed asset side, that's going to be an integration with Microsoft Dynamics, and we'll be capturing those install costs and passing that over to Dynamics as well. And that will also come into play with the attaching the asset to the work activity. That'll be crucial for that step as well. And in the long term, most likely, roping in utility network. That's something that Opelika is working on now, and so in the long term, when that's all set and ready to go, then we'll be able to pull that into Cityworks and start testing against that as well. So lots of things coming down the way here. All right, and I think that does it. Dan, anything else you want to add?
One other thing on our AMI system that I failed to mention was, I did say that we're trying to leverage the private industry as much as we can in areas that we feel like they can benefit or do the job better than we can. Part of our AMI project, the reading is actually being done by Alabama Power. Alabama Power is part of the Southern Company. They're the largest electrical provider in the state and provide service to our area. And so we are able to leverage their existing infrastructure, and so that we don't have to maintain, nor does our contractor have to maintain that infrastructure. Obviously, they're not doing it for free, but when there are issues out there, if we can't read our meters, they can't read theirs. So they've got 1.4 million meters to read every day. They're going to make sure that infrastructure is up and working. So we're able to take advantage of that, and our customers will benefit from that.
That's awesome. Thank you both for that presentation.